That's what, 3 months, and they haven't changed it. Are they actually allowing these bullion banks to get the actual physical, which they shouldn't? Who knows? There has been no comment from PSLV or Sprott management on the massive short selling activity this year, or clarification if the ATM offering is still in effect either. Tuesday, March 13th, 2025, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I've been asked many times in the past whether one should buy ETFs or physical gold or silver, it doesn't matter. And I've always said that the ETFs are an instrument for the bankers to manipulate the price of the metals. And that is showing itself in spades right now. And we're going to look at how the bullion banks right now, they're going for the last place where there is some physical silver, and that's the Sprott Silver ETF, or PSLV. And they're desperate. They're desperate to borrow or lease that silver. They can't take delivery of it, but by borrowing it, they can go on and short it. And maybe through the ETF, or maybe through the bullion, London bullion market. Yeah, we will look at that today, and why I think it was Napoleon who said, when your enemy is making a big mistake, don't stop him. And I think the bullion banks are making a huge mistake, because there's not enough silver out there, and the more they borrow, the deeper hole they're going to be digging. Today I want to do something a little different. I'm going to read the first chapter of this book, De Moneta, of Nicholas Orazm, and it's translated or edited by Charles Johnson. This was from the 1950s. And I have to thank one of the viewers from Canada for sending me this book. It's really a hard book to get. Who was Nicholas Orazm? Well, he was the master in theology at the University of Paris in the mid-1300s. Yes, in the Middle Ages. And he wrote extensively about money. So hence, De Moneta. And I've started reading this book, and it's a great book. It's every page is divided. The left-hand side is in Latin, and the right-hand side in English. I don't know Latin, really. I recognize some of the words. I could try to read in Latin, but it's much easier to do it in English, of course. But I wanted to read chapter 1 here. So that's what we're going to do today, but I'll do it at the end after I finish speaking about silver. So if you're interested, chapter 1 is really, I think it goes on to explain everything about money and why we have it. Well, the title of it is Why Money Was Invented. So just wanted to let you know. You might not be interested, so just listen up about the silver. As I said, many times people ask, should I buy ETFs? And I say no. And actually PSLV, which is the Sprott Inc. Silver ETF, is probably the best of the whole lot, because Eric Sprott is really, I think, a sound money guy. He loves gold and silver. He's been in the sector for many decades. And I don't think his intent when he created the PSLV was for what's happening now. And it's not really him that's doing it. It's just like when you buy a stock through a stockbroker. They can come and ask you, would you like to lease your shares? You get an enticement, the lease rate. And you say yes, and that's what's happening to PSLV. And let's go through some charts here, because this just goes to show how tight the physical silver market is. And I think they're going to lose this time around, the bullion banks. We're testing right now, of course, $33. We went above $33 yesterday. This morning, as I speak, it's 8:30 a.m. London time. It's hovering around that level. But I've got, let's have a look here. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, here we go. So Eric Young, who hopefully many of you know by now, I've interviewed him a few times, aka King Kong on X. He posted this yesterday. I don't operate a gold and silver vaulting business. I don't sell gold and silver, bullion or jewelry for a living. I don't have a newsletter or a subscription service. I do not work for a bullion bank. A lot of people, not all, in the above business are compromised and cannot be trusted. I just wanted to find out the truth and share it with other gold and silver stackers. Thank you, at D. Williams Lex, for sharing the truth regarding PSLV. Trolls will be blocked. I don't care if you are an expert or not. Life is too short for me to share information out of the kindness of my heart, but instead to be attacked by scum trolls. So this is what David Williams says. Someone on X. I own some PSLV in a cash account with Fidelity. Early this month, I got a communication from them that I've never received before, inviting me to lend my shares through their fully paid lending program. Again, this isn't a margin, but a separate lending program for cash accounts altogether. I agree, this smells of desperation. So there you go. And then we had another post from VBL's Ghost, who I've had on before, Vince Lancy. And he's posted a very interesting chart here. Somebody stand for COMEX delivery again, question mark. And he's quoted here, well, he posted here a chart of PSLV daily short sale volume surges to record all-time high of 24,882,645 shares, roughly 270 million in notional value. And it's ironic because Eric Sprott a couple weeks ago said when silver breaks 32 or 33, it's going to go through the roof, go to 50. But his ETF for now is keeping a lid on silver, and I'm not like having a go at him. It actually shows that that ETF has actual physical silver. So all this is happening with COMEX. It's happening through the paper market, really, because according to Bob Coleman, he says here, borrowing shares of PSLV or SLV or any fund cannot be redeemed for metal. So what's the game here? Is it that they're just delaying the inevitable on COMEX? It seems like it. Maybe they're just discouraging the longs from taking delivery by keeping the price from going higher. I don't know. But as Napoleon said, let them make the mistake. Eventually, people are going to go for the physical. And I think the squeeze is going to be bigger than it might have been if they just let the market trade freely. He says, in the case of PSLV, the massive short volume should have little impact on PSLV's at the market offering, ATM offering. What is very concerning is the fact that PSLV has stopped updating their silver ounces inventory chart as of I think it's December 11th. Americans put the date the other way around. It's December 11th, 2024, showing 180,613,426 ounces. Presently, the current holdings have not changed and are still at that 180 million number. I mean, that's really concerning. That's what, 3 months, and they haven't changed it. Are they actually allowing these bullion banks to get the actual physical, which they shouldn't? Who knows? There has been no comment from PSLV or Sprott management on the massive short selling activity this year, or clarification if the ATM offering is still in effect either. Are we to assume that the fund has not added or shareholders have not redeemed any metal since the 11th of December? In addition, the fund has not sold any ounces to pay operating expenses during the same time. So there you go. Something is going on in the silver market. And as I said, I don't think they're going to be able to keep it going for much longer. Let's go through the chapter that talks about why money was invented. So here it is. You've got the English part here and the Latin part here. I'm going to read, of course, the English part. I'm sure maybe some of you know Latin, but yeah, and remember, this is from the Middle Ages. This is from the mid-1300s. And you might think, well, that's outdated, but I think it's more relevant than ever. So anyway, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people. Next, men were multiplied on the earth, and possessions were divided to the best advantage. The result of this was that one man had more than he needed of one commodity, while another had little or none of it, and of another commodity the converse was true. The shepherd had abundance of sheep and wanted bread. The farmer the contrary. One country abounded in one thing and lacked another. Men therefore began to trade by barter. One man gave another a sheep for some corn. Another gave his labor for bread or wool. And so with other things. And this practice persisted in some states, as Justin tells us, till long afterwards. But as this exchange and transport of commodities gave rise to many inconveniences, men were subtle enough to devise the use of money to be the instrument for exchanging the natural riches which of themselves minister to human needs. For money is called artificial riches, he puts it in brackets, seeing that a man who abounds in it may die of hunger, as appears from Aristotle's example of the greedy king who prayed that everything he touched should turn to gold, which the gods granted. And he perished of hunger, as the poets tell. For money does not directly relieve the necessities of life, but it is an instrument artificially invented for the easier exchange of natural riches. And it is clear without further proof that coin is very useful to the civil community and convenient, or rather necessary, to the business of the state. As Aristotle proves in the 5th book of the Ethics, although Ovid says, "From earth we mine a source of future ill, first iron and then gold, more deadly still. For that is caused by the perverse greed of wicked men, not by money itself, which is a convenience for human intercourse and whose use is essentially good. Whence Cassiodorus says, however, common money seems to us from our constant use of it, we should consider how good reason our forefathers had to amass it. And he says in another place that it is certain that moneyers were established for the particular use of the public. So there you go. That's why money was invented, to facilitate trade, to facilitate the transfer of riches amongst different people and different regions. Chapter 2, by the way, is the material of money. I guess we can cover that in another video. So with that, let's quickly look at where the markets are this morning. It's 20 to 9 a.m. London time. We're only 4 hours ahead these days to Eastern Standard Time. We change our clocks on the 30th of March. So I've got here spot gold at 29.44 or 43 actually, up 10 bucks. The high's been 47 and the low's been 30. We're very near the all-time high in the dollar price of gold. The all-time high is 29.56. Is it going to break that level today? It could, but I don't have a crystal ball, but I think eventually it will in the next few days or weeks. Who knows? Silver, as I said, they're trying hard to suppress the price, and I think they're going to be unsuccessful. Right now we're at 33.06, down 18 cents, and you can bet there's a lot of paper selling going on right now in London through the LBMA, through the bullion banks. I think they're desperate. The high's actually been 33.34, so it makes no sense that with gold doing as well as it is, that silver is down. But it makes sense if you know what's going on in terms of this shenanigans of leasing and shorting paper gold. The low's been actually 32.92. The Dow futures, that's down 160 points. NASDAQ 100 futures down 155. And the S&P futures is down 31. So stock market's still looking pretty ill, I would say, right now. And I noticed that Treasury yields haven't really gone down that much. We're still relatively elevated. We're not seeing the drop in yields that most people have been forecasting. We're still around 431 in the 10-year Treasury yield. What about the currencies? Well, with the exception of the dollar versus the yen, and the dollar versus the yen is down 1/3%. Everything's pretty steady. Crude oil is firming up here. We're now at 67.56. I think the other day we had a 65 handle. That's WTI, of course. And high-grade copper, yeah, it's doing well, but it hasn't really moved anywhere since yesterday. We're at 483. With that, I'm going to wish you all a very good day. Take care. Bye.